The market size of the interior designers industry is expected to increase by 5.6% in 2021, and also the market size of the interior designers industry in Nigeria has grown by 0.5% year-on-year, 2016 and 2021. The industry is said to be worth an estimated 50 billion naira. Clearly, this is an emerging market that needs to be further harnessed, and we would be looking deep, taking more in-depth look into this sector. And joining me to discuss further is Adeshola Olunuga. She is an interior designer by profession and a graduate of Industrial Relations Personnel Management from University of Lagos. She has been able to start her business in interior and has managed several projects in Nigeria and Accra. Adeshola also gives back to the community through an initiative called Men Inspire. She joins me live in the studio this morning. Thank you so much for giving us your time on Business Breakfast.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Now, looking at the interior design business in Nigeria, in 2021 alone, the insurance companies associated with, designing in Nigeria has recorded a growth, especially in the last 5 years in interior decoration industry, and indicating all trappings of a burgeoning market. What would you consider as the drivers to this growth in the sector?
Okay, thank you. It's been observed over the years that a lot of awareness, has come by, in the sense that it's not only when you get into the hospitality sector that you want to enjoy a kind of environment and a lovely ambience, right? People are getting aware that this is what I can actually have within my space. Long before now, it was just about having your space, your basic furniture, and all of those pieces. And then they used to think interior design profession, engaging an interior designer, they used to think it used to be for the wealthy. But right now, with exposure, with the use of social media, people now know that, oh, it's possible for me to have a lovely ambience within my space or within my workspace. So that has actually helped in improving and growing the sector. So it's not a matter of going into a hotel or going to a ballroom or going to a very big organization or establishment that you are able to enjoy the kind of ambience that is expected to be found in such spaces. So even as an SME, you want to open your store, you want to open your shop, you want the ambience to be attractive, to bring in your clients, walk-in clients, or maybe you want to do a video within your space, you want it to speak well, to attract the kind of customers that you want to purchase from you.
You sound like someone who actually likes aesthetics. Is that what attracted you into the business?
Apparently, it wasn't. Yes, aesthetics attracted me to it. But while I was growing up, I noticed that I just had eyes for details. I appreciated good things. And when they put all of these furniture pieces and designs together, it was a lot of interest to me. But I never knew I was going to delve into the profession of interior design. My first degree program was Industrial Relations and Personnel Management. So initially, my dream was to work in Human Resources Department, which I had an opportunity to work for a couple of years. But I now delved into interior design because I had issues with, my first baby. I couldn't continue with work. It was a preterm. All of those, I had to stop work. And when my baby was stable, I tried to gain employment again. But I wasn't getting the opportunity. And I realized that when people visit me at home, they will tell me that, oh, the last time I visited, your house was like this. Now you have changed it to this. Now you have added this. That don't you think you should consider this? Yes, I like to put things together, pleasing to the eye. I get bored of things. So once in a while, maybe once in a year, I'll add this, I'll tweak this, I'll do that. So people kept telling me, why don't you consider this? But I was just like, I'm looking for a job in an oil company. That was what I said to myself. But when I now started digging within myself, that what am I good at? What are my strengths? What can I do? And I realized that, oh, this comes very easy to me. But I didn't just sit that, okay, because it comes easy to me, I must continue.
So you're saying you didn't go for any, training?
Yes.
Because I was going to ask, are you saying you didn't go for any?
I went for training before I started my business. I wanted to know the business of interior design. It is one thing for you to engage someone in quotes that says, I'm an interior designer. It's another thing for you to engage someone who has gone to learn the business of interior design. Anyone can come and put pieces together, but there are certain things that you would expect when it comes to putting you know,
professionalism.
Yes, professionalism now comes into play. Now, even that is not static, you know. It's just like fashion. It just goes in, it evolves, exactly. So it means that even as an interior designer, we have to keep updating ourselves. What is, you know, what is new? Like you have colors of the year. You know, these are the things that comes. It just brings life into what we do. And beyond that, if I were to, you know, design your space, I wouldn't just come that, okay, this is what I love. I want to design your space. I need to take your brief. What do you love? How do you want this space to serve you? What's the lifestyle? You know, whether you're the type that engages, that receives guests. There are some that, oh, I don't receive guests. I just want somewhere very comfortable. I don't like bright colors. I like pastel colors. Some clients will be like, I do just white. So it depends on what you love.
And so it also depends on the favorite color of the person, your client.
Yes. Then we can advise. At times, some clients will be like, oh, I love red. Now, we can't use red in your bedroom. We have to be able to combine it in such a way that it will give you a balanced effect, maybe in your living room, maybe in your kitchen. Red evokes a lot of energy. And when you're in your bedroom, you need to be relaxed. Yes, you need to be well rested. So we will not encourage you to go ahead with red, but at the same time we can help you to creatively have a blend of it in a subtle way within your space.
Now, looking at the year 2020 and especially how the hiccups have been coming up as when it comes to economic downturn, how would you say it has affected the sector, that's the interior decor sector, and how have you been able to weather the storm?
Okay, yeah, 2020 was a journey indeed because of the lockdown, COVID-19. Obviously, people we're all trying to survive. It wasn't a year that, you know, we had projects to undergo, except for before the lockdown, we had some projects that were able to quickly tidy before the lockdown. But during the lockdown and during the heat of the pandemic, you know, it was like every other business, everything just went, you know, everything just went still. But one thing that helped us to weather the storm was that we were engaging in meetings online, Zoom meetings and all of those. So by the time people get to see your background, we're creatively using virtual backgrounds of the, you know, the projects I have handled. I'll use it as a virtual background during the meetings. People get to see, you know, what is right behind me. Some will call, oh, is that your house? Oh, is this, you know, I get to tell them, look, this is one of the projects that we have handled and all of that. So that actually helped in projecting what we do. And though people were not able to, you know, engage us, contract jobs, projects to us at that time, but as things began to open up, based on what they had seen, based on what we have opened up to them, it was easy to now jumpstart. And
now let's dwell a bit on the misconceptions about the industry, that's the interior decor industry. That a lot of people believe that it's a predominantly female industry. What do you have to say about that?
Well, when it comes to interior decor, I agree that it's predominantly females that you get to see, that you get to engage in. But when it comes to the operations, hands-on, you have men actually helping with it. You also have men that actually do the jobs, but it's just like you have more of the female that you get to see. But if you're going to ask me, those that are hands-on, the operations, they're actually mostly men that get to do it. But now when it comes to interior design, where you know, it involves structures, where it involves designing of spaces and all of that.
And blending colors.
Yes, and blending. You have men that actually do all of those.
You know, most men are known to have, okay, I'm trying to avoid the word color blind, but most men tend to have difficulty identifying colors. So you wouldn't blame people when they say this is a female-dominated
Yes,
area.
I wouldn't blame them, because really men will shy away from color consultation. They will shy away from it. But if you go to an organization where they deal majorly in colors, they'll be able to show you a color wheel and be able to advise you primary colors, secondary colors, what are you trying to achieve. But you know what? It's not actually a difficult thing, because these colors, they evoke feelings. So what you want to achieve, as long as I know that this is what this color evokes, if I know what you want to achieve, I can actually advise, consult for you, and we will roll.
Now, another misconception is the fact that interior designers are quite affordable. And also they talk about the fact that they can be rigid and uptight sometimes.
Okay, it's actually a perspective. Now, if you need the
affordability,
yes, the affordability is relative. Now, if you want a project done, at what scale At what level? Because there are categories. It's like you're going for a product, they tell you, oh, we have a gold package, we have platinum, we have silver, we have bronze. And you know, it usually starts from bronze, you get to see silver and all of that. So it depends on what you actually want. Now, if you are engaging the service of a professional, and you need a high category of what I just mentioned now, obviously it's going to come really pricey. But when you are able to have a blend, when your interior designer is able to give you like a blend of all of these options, I think it depends on how you're looking at it, in the sense that you can be penny wise and pound foolish. You may think that an interior designer, I think you're too expensive. But then you're not considering the fact that there are some costly mistakes that can be done within your space. And when this is done, at the end of the day, you see that, oh, I'm spending much more than I would if I had, engaged the service of a professional. Now,
the Nigerian interior decor market looks to be thriving, especially when you look at the furniture industry, which has now been, an embargo has been placed on the importation of furniture, and this has helped that aspect of the industry to thrive. Do you think that that particular embargo should be extended to other areas like the fabrics and other materials or raw materials that you import as an interior decor?
It works for the furniture sector. When it comes to building, right now we still get to import the hardware accessories. It's not produced here.
When you say hardware, what do you mean?
We're talking about some kind of metal stands, accessories, knobs, and all of that, various aesthetics and designs. They're not produced here. But when it comes to putting the wood together, building up the frame, even the fabrics are not made here. Now, when it comes to building, it's easier to build because we have the wood readily available here. So you put all of those together, the framework, you're able to come up with those. But when it comes to the fabric that you're going to use, when it comes to the hardware, when it comes to the accessories, mostly it is imported for you to have an aesthetic or a luxurious look. But when it comes to even the foam that is used, yes, we have those here, but not every all of these items are available here.
So are you saying that the embargo should be placed on those areas too, so that we can now look inwards and produce more?
I think it's a gradual thing. It can be, but it may not be 100%.
All right. Now let's look at some statistics. According to the latest well-designed ranking, China ranks #1, followed by the United States, Japan, Italy, Hong Kong. And a look at how African countries is doing on the chart. You have South Africa as the 35th, Egypt 45th, Tunisia 59th, and then it goes on and on. But out of all these 114 countries captured, Nigeria seems to be missing in action. How can we change this narrative?
The only way we can change this narrative is production. Is when we are able to increase our capacity when it comes to production. And there's so many things that are limiting when it comes to production here in Nigeria. First of all, we are talking about the human resource. You're talking about power. You're talking about, you can even import machineries, but when it comes to maintenance of certain machineries, it's actually another heartache. So these things are possible when we have the facilities available. When we have, when it comes to human resource, you can train. But then, when it comes to work ethics, these are part of the things we still need to instill in the artisans that we work with. Most of them do not have the work ethics that is required. When you when I was working on a project in Accra, I had to engage the services of artisans, and I realized that the basic education, they had it. I saw a lot of professionalism. Someone is coming to, work on the walls and is installing 3D wall panels. I saw the professionalism. And when it comes to the same artisans that we're working with here, it's not the same. So I think it's basically people just go and work as an apprentice, right? But the basic education, the basic training for such, for such craft, it's not encouraged.
How do we deal with that? Are there schools? For instance, you got trained. Are there schools? Are there hands-on trainings that people can get to groom them in this profession?
Yes, I know there are technical schools that actually train.
So what exactly is the issue? Is it that people do not see the need for this training?
People will rather learn from someone as an apprentice, right? And they don't have the formal education. They think, as long as I have the experience, because I'm working with a boss that's been in this business for long, they just think, oh, let's just keep on with this wheel. But we can actually tweak it by ensuring that people go to technical schools, they get the knowledge, and that actually helps with, professionalism at what they do.
Now, the festive seasons are upon us. First, before we go into that, do you think that Nigeria is really taking the interior decor sector seriously? Are we really, do we see it as an important sector of the economy?
I think we actually do. We are coming up, we're improving by the day. Maybe initially it wasn't, but right now I think it's being put into consideration. If you look at anything at all that we need to do in this country, and when it comes to the interior design, they are putting in their best to give us the aesthetics, to give us, the good finishing, let me put it that way, to the best of their ability. So I think we're a work in progress.
Okay, so now looking at the festive season, it will be December in some days, and we know how it's always Christmassy. What should we expect from your sector and from the other players in the sector?
Okay, when it comes to the Yuletide season that is fast approaching, you'll be thinking that, oh, by now we should see all the lights, we should see all the garlands, all the Christmas ornaments, the lights and all that. But ideally, before now, about this time of the year, you begin to see the lights on some part of Lagos State, for example, and all of that. Some are coming up, but I want to believe that it's probably the state of the economy that is affecting this time around, this time of the year. Because if you drive through schools, you begin to see wreaths, you begin to see a little bit here and there, but it's not like we usually see it on the roads, on the streets yet. I'm hoping that maybe within the first week in December.
So you feel that people are really not excited. They're not as excited as they used to be, especially when it comes to the Yuletide season.
This year. This year. But I know previous years, oh, it's exciting. You get to see all of this in the air already. But for this year.
All right, very big thank you to Yadeshola Onunuga. Thank you for joining us on Business Breakfast this morning. It's been an interesting time with you.
Thank you so much for having me.